Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Wow. Hello, everybody. The penultimate episode of Game of Thrones just completed about 25 minutes ago. We are here on Say It Ain't Snow. First reactions, I'm Marissa Rives. I'm here with my co-host, the great, amazing James L. Mattern, everybody.
Yeah,
Clap it up for James.
What up?
Okay.
Follow my ragtime girl. What up, man?
What up? Well.
Have you heard that yet?
What?
Someone on the internet went, Vala Magulis, Vala Daharas, Vala my ragtime girl. It's the best.
Nah, that's pretty
it's
good.
The goddamn best. Internet, sometimes you don't let me down.
Yeah, I mean, at times. I have no voice, and that's not because I was screaming over this episode. It was because I was sick all week. So I apologize for anyone just listening to the audio.
She just got over the pox.
I also look sick, so I apologize for anybody watching the video. But anyway, I have been very negative about this show.
You goddamn head.
For a while. Last week, I thought was disastrous. This is what I will say about this episode off the bat. Do we have a name? Can we look up the title too? It should be on the TV because I know that they put it up after it's over. I will say that was a very entertaining hour and 20 minutes of television in the sense that it finally moved. And, the screen went down. It finally moved, and I feel like a lot happened in this episode. I think you would agree, James Mattern. What are your first thoughts here?
Too much happened.
Yeah.
They really do need to have intermissions. They really, if it's got episode like this, they should allow you to do 10 minutes to get snacks, pee, cigarette, heroin, whatever to get you settled for the next half of it. Like, write a letter to mom. Mom, I love you. I'm emotional right now.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Babies are being killed in their mother's womb.
Yeah, they don't fool around, huh?
No, happy
Easter
Mother's Day.
and Mother's Day. They take you down, B.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's just quickly summarize the end parts of the episode, because obviously a lot happens before they I guess not that much happens, obviously. Varys dies early in the episode. We will get to everything in this episode, but we got to start where it's important. Dany, the Khaleesi, the Mad Queen, they built this for approximately 60 minutes, 75 minutes or so, that Dany is the Mad Queen, and she burns the city to the ground upon surrender. So let's talk first about Dany as the Mad Queen. I love that she's the Mad Queen.
Yes.
I buy this, but I don't buy it in the way that they sold it. I think they did a very poor job of executing the Dany Mad Queen character.
So you buy it in theory as it would be good for the story, but you think that the way that they led her into it was poor.
Absolutely.
Look at me.
You're just so smart.
Public education in Nevada.
Our third season.
Look at this,
I mean,
kids.
to think that we're sitting here in the penultimate episode together, James L. Mattern, it's pretty phenomenal. But do you agree? And if anyone's in the chat, you can chat us right now, and Brian will tell us what's the deal. You could tweet me at the Marissa Rives, at James L. Mattern, at Gas Digital, whatever. Brian, if you get any messages, please just let us know.
Chime in, baby.
How do you feel they handled the Mad Queen rollout?
She's playing it well. I think she's supposed to be paranoid. I think they gave you a hair of the paranoia. I think they probably could have done.
Paranoia.
Yeah, I think they could have done more of the buildup of her paranoid than they have. They've done bits of it, and we just kind of assumed that that's where they're going. I think they could have maybe put some more seeds of it earlier. Once again, we might be dumb to it. We might rewatch and catch something in season 2 that will later be like, oh, it was there. I mean, I still catch Easter eggs with everything
Sure.
after something happens, so you don't know. They did a great job with her eyes. Boy, if you want to look, I mean, she looks like she couldn't eat. She hasn't even thought of food. She looks like she smelt like the back end of a starfish's ass. Like it was just rough.
Like she tasted like that apple you ate earlier.
I had the worst apple in the history. And I've eaten plenty of bad apples. I hate to admit that. This city, God bless you. The Big Apple, guess what? The Big Apple does not give you a good fucking apple at all. If you get 5 good apples a year out of the Big Apple, that's a big fucking deal. All right? And that doesn't happen.
Tried to eat a Golden Delicious.
Oh, they're consistent.
They're never good. And
well, you're just a hardliner. Look, you just go with the party line of your Granny Greens or whatever your shit is.
Fuji apples I like.
Oh, they're good.
They're good.
I think they're called Fiji, but whatever.
Fuji.
They're Fiji, aren't they?
I don't know.
They're not Mr. Fuji, the goddamn wrestling manager of the 80s.
We have a lot to unpack here.
All right, let's go.
All right, so they make her the Mad Queen. Go ahead.
My thing is the motivation for her to kill all the city. I don't necessarily feel that she's at that level yet. That's where I stand with that. Of innocent people.
Why?
And everything they've built up about her trying, and you've discussed it last week, she only made them free to help her in that. But there was moments of good. When she was called Misa and all that, there was tender moments. She still calls herself the breaker of chains.
She stopped the killing arenas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's not a barbaric leader. And I think what they did in this episode, while speeding up her going crazy, which could have been a much slower burn, and I believe this will in the sense that Danny will go mad, I think that is realistic for the books as well. I just don't see the road to get there. Once she killed the people, she could have went right to the Red Keep. There was no reason to burn the entire city that she's trying to rule. If you want to just call it a momentary lapse and she actually goes psychotic like her father and she's not seeing clear, but to have a scene earlier where now she's a scorned lover with Jon Snow.
Yeah.
And adding that as part of her motivation, and like she takes to her room, and it just seemed a little like, I don't know. I just thought they could have built that better. But look, crazy to watch.
Yeah.
Crazy to watch.
I think what they want you to believe is when she says to hell with it and we're going to blow them out, it was for Missandei. And that Missandei said, what was it? The Vaharis.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, Jakaris.
Vaharis, Jakaris.
Yes.
To me, it's all just my ragtime girl. What a callback. This is going to be all episode, everybody.
Well, I mean,
I might do knock-knock jokes. Knock-knock. Who's there? Vala. Vala who? Vala my ragtime girl. Come on, guys. Let's have some fun.
Like it. I do
After
like
a serious episode like
that. If we could find that tune to that song and James could sing it later,
I'll dress like the WB Frog.
That would be nice. I think, too, a problem with what they did with Crazy Danny is that everything she says in this episode is very true. Because they take Varys.
She wasn't wrong in a lot of the things.
When she talks to Tyrion earlier in the episode, and she's like, This is exactly what I said would happen.
All treason.
And now you have this guy running around, and Tyrion actually throws Varys under the bus and decides to stand with Danny. But even Varys, like, it sucks to see him like slip so quickly and hard. Like the Master of Whispers
took it like a man.
Sure.
I hope I deserve this. I like that.
And
I mean, this.
Look, he was vilified.
Yeah, well. This screws up my candidacy next year. I am now available as a campaign manager, my peoples, because Varys 2020 is not happening, everybody. That is long gone.
No.
We got to find another candidate that was promised, because it is not the former Master of Whispers.
I don't know. Plot armor Arya, maybe?
Yeah, all right, here's my one thing with plot armor. I get it when people say it for certain things. And I think last week was an example that it's an end game. I do try to tell myself this and remind myself, this is the story being told features these characters for a reason. So they do extraordinary feats. These are extraordinary stories. That's what while you're watching a tale of fiction or whatever, it's because this is something unique and different. So it will be someone who survives something. Someone does.
Obviously.
I mean, there are people who survive crazy things, and so you have to look at it. This is a fictionized version of that. This is a tale of someone who's done something amazing in a world.
Well, and let's be honest. Okay, we talked about the fact that not a lot of characters have been dying. You said
for a
that
reason.
The pieces needed to be on the chessboard, and in the end, I will say I was shocked at times in this episode, mostly because the writers just kind of just decided to just do whatever they wanted, which. I was entertained. I'm trying to be positive in this episode. I'm probably going to read. I run on Reddit. Everyone on Reddit and my Reddit, A Song of Ice and Fire, is not happy. They're very upset.
They never will be.
They're never. I know. And neither will I probably at the end of the day because I'll pick it apart. But for right now, I don't want to do that, James. I want to live in the now. I like that episode.
Goddamn now, my friend.
But what was I going to say? We said that people weren't dying, and let's count who died in this episode. We have. Well, we're going to get very much into Clegane Bowl.
Yes.
But the Hound and the Mountain, dead.
Bye-bye.
Varys is dead.
Sayonara.
Cersei is dead. Jaime is dead. Unless they're like under some rubble somewhere. No, that's not going to happen.
I think it's all over,
they are dead. Who else is dead? Harry Strickland, which nobody cares about. The Golden Company. Wow, they were really useless, huh?
They didn't do a goddamn thing. Hey, more like a copper company. Am I right, everybody? I love my ragtime girls. I'm gonna do it all night. I dare all three of you in the booth to question it. Yeah. Look, I'm turning to the mad podcaster.
Look at all the energy in that booth.
Boy, you guys
are full of energy.
Jesus Christ.
God.
Looks like you all smoked dust.
We are pulling up clips.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, that's what my ex said when she cheated on me. Am I right, everybody? I've just become a vaudevillian Game of Thrones podcast host. That's what I do now, baby. Look at my boy run. I don't even know who the fuck Harry Strickland is. I heard of him all year. What was he in? Air Bud?
Worst name, right? I actually noted that. Stupid ass name, Harry Strickland. Does not fit this world whatsoever. There was a John Connington in Game of Thrones, which John Connington I think is a cool name. I can hang with John Connington.
I riffed on this last night at the gig. It's so ridiculous.
Griff is who? Young Griff is who he's with.
Yeah.
Young Griff.
Who does not exist in this, but yeah.
He does not exist in
cinema.
this.
But,
so that changes everything immediately.
Whoopsie. It's just so funny that you have Tyrion, Tyrion, Cersei, all these names, and then you get like a Jamie and a Kevin. It's hilarious.
I know, and there's a lot of Kevins too.
Oh man,
I think no, not really.
Don't sleep on Kevin.
All right, who else died? Let's just talk about that. Who else died? The little bird dies. That little bird really went to King's Landing very quickly.
Yeah,
Varys' little bird. I don't know who else died. All right, we'll figure it out.
Euron and Jamie.
I said Jamie.
Jamie's gone.
Oh, Euron.
Euron.
Wow. We'll get into that scene too, but
and then just millions of people,
stupid.
Millions of extras.
Everyone.
They got their SAG meals and all that, and it was great. And then their characters are gone.
Well, I think that there's two things that we'll say here. One, it's crazy because the way that this all went, it started with Dany killing those people, and then it quickly kind of became her people fleeing in fear. Because how do you differentiate?
How do you stop it?
How do you stop all this fire?
I've always wondered that with the dragon. How's the dragon know what team you're on?
Seriously.
What jersey? Huh?
I know. I always think that too.
Yeah.
And the second thing I think that we'll agree is that they did make a big mistake. This is me being positive, by the way. I think they made a big mistake disposing of Dany's dragons in the way that they did last episode. When the White Walkers killed a dragon, it felt okay.
Okay.
It felt like if someone's the Night King and his people, they can kill a dragon.
He's got a mystical spear.
Yeah. He's mystical.
Yeah.
And then they set up these things. What are those things called again?
Scorpions.
As these killable machines that don't exist and should not be able to pierce a dragon. And they were precise last episode 3. Boom, boom, boom. By Rhaegal.
And nothing magical about these guys. Probably a bunch of dudes named Kevin, to be quite honest.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they don't got cool Game of Thrones names. It's probably like Kevin and Philip.
Yeah, Bob.
Philip of the Blackwater.
But yeah, they definitely just, they just Dany. Okay, tell me no. Did you think this? Tell me no. When the war starts and Dany swoops in for the first time on Drogon, and many theorized last week that we'd see some sort of armor on the dragon, something, because these scorpions seemed like dragon-killing sure thing machines.
No.
And yet, again, Dany just goes right with the dragon, right in front of the fleet that just destroyed her, and they're instantly destroyed. Instantly destroyed, except for Euron, who washes the shore right to Jaime Lannister.
The straight down move is what did it. I do think it's funny that people thought he was going to be dressed up like an Upper East Side dog, like people put like jackets on their dog and walk it. Like the dragon was going to be dressed like Fifi from 83rd and York.
Why is that so unbelievable, though? If everything else is okay, the dragon wearing armor, not that insane.
It'd be a fun picture.
I just think that, what was great, though, is that once you see those scorpions destroyed, you're like, oh, my God, this is fucked. This is fucked. And Dany, the bell rings. The bell rings.
Yeah.
They surrender. She gets what she wants.
I don't know who surrendered to. It wasn't Jaime. There's no way he could have been in there yet.
Jaime went up to the bell
tower. And
tower.
Cersei didn't do it.
Her people.
Just no. I mean, they were
She
beat.
just had no. They just
Somebody made an executive decision.
You
yeah.
got. I mean, you're done. At
You
that point,
got
there's
it.
no coming back.
Cersei for the whole episode, most of it was like, no, the Red Keep has never been burned.
Oh.
Nothing has ever happened. Qyburn's like, bro, she's here. She's in the Red Keep, burning down all the buildings.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
You know?
She was almost like that knight in Holy Grail. It's like, you're missing legs and arms. Come here, I'll bite you.
Yeah.
Like, we got this. It's
Yeah.
it's just a flesh wound. I'll tell you this. They were beat when they put down their swords and the bell rang. There was no coming back. I mean, I don't know if you guys played Little League, but when I did, if you're down 10 runs after 2 innings, that's called the mercy rule. That was a mercy ruling happening right there. And the queen, the Mad Queen, had no mercy, baby. She's like, we're going to win 75-0.
I mean, Dany went out on her shield, I guess you could say. Look, Cersei, to the bitter end, didn't want to believe it, then begged for her life. You know, that was her finally
Her
crumbling the baby, right? But think about the way Cersei died. With Jaime.
Almost
who
poetic.
We're going to get into Jaime character assassination. We're going to get into Tyrion character assassination. I will say that there was a lot of character assassination that continued in this episode.
Oh, my goodness.
But that doesn't mean I didn't like the episode, because I'm being positive today. Because I think last week I brought enough negativity.
But you don't have to be. Here's the
I
thing.
will
This is a critical
sporadically-
show, and
yeah.
you're allowed to be a critic.
I'm going to sporadically be negative, but we will talk about the character assassination. But Jaime shows up.
Mm-hmm.
They have loving moments. She's in the embrace of the one man she loves. And he still loves her for some reason. And she dies like that. No comeuppance for Cersei Lannister. It almost seems too good for Cersei. It really does.
she held everything and lost it.
No Valonqar, no Arya,
Sure.
no Face. Arya, the ninja, you know.
I think it's the moment where she realizes that she could have got the fuck out, that she had options, and her own pride got in this way, that she actually did, to a sense, play the game better than everyone and become the top piece of the puzzle, and yet couldn't hold on to it. And
First
that's
queen
it.
ever.
You either win or you die. She won and then she died. She could have walked away. She had a baby. She could have done other things, but she didn't, because she believed her own horseshit. She sniffed her own ass and said, it smells like flowers, and this is what's going to happen. And in a way, I mean, yes, she didn't get to come up into the way of like a nice revenge death, but she knew her goose was cooked at the end, and the tears were as much for her losing and screwing it up and couldn't see the forest through the trees with everything she had won, as much as it was that she was going to die with that baby in her.
Yeah, I mean,
And that she should have been more responsible and played the game better for someone else, for the baby, and not her own pride of being a ruler.
And
Yeah,
she
well,
got
I
that
mean-
castle dropped on her head. The whole
castle.
castle.
So that's what it is. I mean, if you want to go back to
it all
Maggie the
came crashing down.
No, but if you want to go back to
Exactly.
Maggie the Frog too, will I marry the prince? I will be the queen. She cared so much about those things. Yeah, and you cared more about that than anything else. And then that entity fell on you, basically.
Well,
being in the royal castle, the Red Keep, symbolizing that you were the top piece, that you were the queen, was what ended up towering and killing you.
and
That's poetic.
well, and to the bitter end, she never cared about the people. Never
Never
ever.
cared
Even
about the
in
people.
death, it was never about. It goes to the baby. That was the only reason for her not to let the city burn and all these
Yeah.
people die, was because of this baby. So she's just one. You know, that's Cersei. You know, she has been doing this for a long time, and it's always been about proving a point or just the ruling for ruling's sake, and her pride and her family and her name. And, you know, so look, disappointing to never see Arya and Cersei come face to face. Yeah. Disappointing not to see Dany and Cersei come face to face. You know, like those are some things that you kind of wish you have. It would take away because, you know, this ending had Cersei kind of just throw her hands up. I mean, there's nothing to do. She was
There was
trapped.
nothing
Nothing to do. But died kind of, like I said, in kind of a comfortable scenario when there's no good ending here. So I don't know. We'll talk more about Cersei too as the episode goes on. Missed her. Gotta say, not having her in this season enough hurts the show. I love Cersei.
Yeah.
I will always love Cersei. And I will say that there was a lot of character assassination tonight, but if there's one person that kind of stayed true, I would argue it's Cersei, except for no, I'll give it that. There you go.
I think we should take a moment and say bravo to a body of work that was done by an actor, a performer in the name of Lena Headey, and she did a wonderful job of portraying this character. At times, I feel like the influence was one of the characters from Absolutely Fabulous, but whatever.
I love that show.
That's a wonderful choice to bring to this. If she did, I would love to meet her and be like, were you trying to be Patsy? Or no, was it Adina? Who was the redhead?
Patsy's, the other one is not Patsy. Yeah.
So the lead, Jennifer Saunders' character. I really feel at times a drunk Cersei is yes, baby, what? Come to mommy, like that nonsense.
Listen, that's iconic in England. So
yeah, I mean, it was a great show.
Very possible that,
I loved
she
it.
did pull from that.
It'd be hilarious that was a choice for this ballsy brimfire show. Great work. Yes, it wasn't enough of her. It's really that could be something that gets looked down upon. Years later, they'll go, wait a minute. Thank you. It was a cheers for her.
Cheers.
Is that her not ending up being the absolute big bad? It's really weird. It's either going to be written as that this was a horrible decision and they really missed the landing by not doing that, or to be revised as it's kind of nice that she wasn't at the end because that character was so great and we kind of loved that character. Shitty as she was.
I do, but yeah. But one of my issues that I've decided I'm having is just Dany.
Mm-hmm.
We have been following Dany from day one, and all of it was for her to come here. The Night King, really the White Walkers seem like a parody almost now. Thinking about them almost seems like, well, what the fuck was that? None of it meant fucking anything. Fuck all. Just wasted time. Just so Dany could come burn everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, and now, look, we're moving into the finale. Next week is the finale of Game of Thrones, which is crazy to think about. And we're moving into that with Dany needing to be stopped now, and Jon needing to be the person to do that. Or Arya, which I think Arya not killing Cersei, very much, I wrote specifically here, Arya will kill Dany. That is my theory. I think she's the one to do it. I think Jon would make sense, but I think they'll give it to Arya.
If this was Game of Thrones, if this was like a gambling show for Game of Thrones, would that be your lead pipe lock of the week for week 6?
Yeah.
I got Arya killing Dany minus 250. You put it down. It's a lock.
Well, I mean,
the worst ones always live.
Yeah, you've got to wonder with Arya, right? I know we're jumping around a little bit here because my notes are all just
but
kind of. There's a lot to talk about. My thing about Arya. I hope there's something more here a little bit, because I think that the big character moment for Arya in this episode was that she, on her way to kill Cersei, goes to help people.
Yes.
It just proved Arya is not no one. She has not been no one. We know that. But even still, truly, she left everybody to go down there by herself for a mission to kill Cersei. Revenge. And in the end, she chooses not revenge and chooses to ride off on a horse. Someone said, I didn't know if they were being sarcastic, but they said, what if Bran warged into that horse?
Oh, get her home quicker so they could have great quality conversation.
See, that would be good. At least Bran would be doing something. Would have been nice if that was Bran. Now I want that to be the case. Did anyone else think that?
I think Bran's going to do
I didn't think
plenty.
that. I read that on Reddit.
I think Bran's going to do plenty.
Really? In the last episode, Bran's going to do a lot?
Sansa will do plenty.
What about Arya? Let's talk about Arya for a second.
She's the one character that I really hope survives and there's some kind of good coming off her. I really love the story with her, and there was probably a season and a half where it was just like enough already with her, but I think the payoff of what she has become has been outstanding. And if Jon ends up getting the crown and renouncing it and someone else gets it, God, I kind of would like the line of last week, I'm no lady, to be brought back up as, but I am a queen. I would like that. That is something.
I like that. Look, I've always liked Arya on the Iron Throne. I love Arya.
I think she's great.
Bow your shits.
One of the better actors in the show.
She's terrific.
Maisie Williams, right? She's great. I would cry if she died. Like, I was getting emotional a little bit, but I don't know. All right. I know I'm going to jump again. We'll get into Arya more too. There's lots to say. The biggest character assassination of the episode. We said one that Cersei has been done well. We'll say at this point. Jaime Lannister.
Jaime Lannister.
Why?
All that
why
redemption
the last
for
few
nothing,
seasons?
huh?
Why the Brienne storyline? Yeah. Why? Nothing else, but he literally just came there to die with her?
Yo.
That's it?
You know why?
Why?
Because Cersei
Yeah.
got that bomb
I
pussy.
know, I knew you were gonna say that.
What y'all know about that, baby?
You know what? Come on.
It always comes back to that, man. Brienne, I mean, he should have given
Brienne
more than one spin. I mean, she's a virgin. How good is it? It's almost like a dude's like, yeah, I'll try this. I'll try having sex with someone who isn't my sister. I hear it's pretty cool. Let's see what the rave was. And then it was like, ugh, I'm going back to the original. I don't like this new Coke.
Yeah.
And then, goes and dies under rubble with her.
Yeah.
It did seem like, the leaps and bounds we had of him. And like I said, I was wrong. I thought he was going to go to kill her.
Yeah.
And here, I got to admit something. I was going to do this earlier, but I want to do full disclosure, and it's tough for me because I like to speculate in this show, and I'm now trying to catch myself. I ended up reading on Facebook from a kid who loves to spoil everything that the spoilers were up, the leaks, and this guy, I will not spoil anything for you, my dear friend Marissa.
You have
But
spoilers for the finale right now?
I looked at it, and I felt bad. And I felt horrible about it. And I did not sleep well that night. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then I went and did it again. And I felt peace. And I remember that when I started watching the shows in the 4th season and I read everything, I knew when Jon was getting whacked by the goddamn Night's Watchman. I needed to know what was happening, to fully enjoy. I still was looking forward to it. I didn't want anyone bothering me with spoilers of spoilers of the spoilers. I didn't want anything like that. I wanted to see the execution. But it was good to have training wheels and to prepare myself to say goodbye to certain people, and these certain things were going to happen, and there's nothing I could do with it, and I just have to enjoy the ride.
So now you have spoilers into the finale?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's pretty accurate. This dude's
James.
This guy's batting average is outstanding.
Speaking of surviving, our death pool, Marissa, you are at the end of the pack with just Sansa left.
Oh, and I
Who
want
I
her
screwed
to
up.
die.
I should have given you Cersei.
And
Who had Cersei?
James tonight lost Jamie
my
and
squad.
Cersei
Yeah.
and Sandor.
Yeah.
He has Tyrion and Davos left.
Yes.
Who did I lose?
God, if I win with Davos, that's the biggest win ever.
I think that's a good one to win with. I had Euron, Melisandre,
Beric, and what's her name? Missandei.
Missandei.
Brian, who do you got left?
Yeah,
I mean, of
Brian.
that team that you were trying to draft characters that weren't even invented yet. It's like,
No,
baby.
that's a different thing. That's a different
Baby,
thing.
we should have given them the baby.
I got Davos's
That's a different
grandchildren.
thing.
They're going to
That's-
show up in the spinoff.
But that's not even what we're talking about right now,
All right,
James.
who
So
did you lose?
stop.
Quickly.
No, that is the thing. You
No,
drafted.
it's not. We were talking about what's going to happen at the end. This is the teams
right.
that we drafted for each other.
Yeah, but remember,
So
if you drew your own name,
I have
you got to pick your own
Gendry,
player.
Tormund,
Gendry,
and
Tormund,
Podrick left.
Podrick left, and who died?
Just Jorah and Lyanna.
Brian, do you not remember when we drafted though? If you picked your name out of the hat, you picked for yourself, and you went
I
to
have
make the very
5
last pick,
that aren't mine.
and yet you picked. You tried to pick for yourself to live
Okay,
The baby.
the baby that wasn't.
sure.
And we're
I
like,
still,
Alright.
you
I
cannot
still
do that.
stand by that.
I don't want to get bogged
Okay.
down on this. I feel like we're about to.
I'll bog it
What
the
was
fuck
Alex's
down.
team?
Look, I'm flipping, man. I'm the mad podcaster.
I know. I love it.
I'll burn all
I
you
love
bitches
it.
down.
James has edge lately, and I like it.
I don't know. Don't even get me
You went
started
to
on that shit.
LA, and you came back all edgy,
Came back.
all stressed out.
Didn't get a
in New York.
job. Very furious. I'll burn all them motherfuckers too. Let's go.
Yeah, fuck them. Listen, what's Alex's team, real quick?
Theon, Varys, Jon, Bronn, Grey Worm.
Oh.
She has Braun, Grey
Ooh,
Worm,
she's gonna win this.
and John.
Yeah.
I have fucking, who do I have? Sansa. You know, Sansa's not a bad
I
one.
think Sansa, and
to
I
ride
screwed that
out.
up. I picked Sansa for you. I screwed that up.
Wow. All right, can we get back to this? A lot happened in this episode. So, Jaime Lannister character assassination. Oh, we talked about that enough. We talked about that.
Whatever you want to
I thought
do.
we didn't talk about that. I'm trying to tie everything back. I don't want to go off course too much, James. This is my professional radio.
You're doing great with the T and the
trying.
voice. You're so worried. T's so good, huh?
I'm like really fighting the voice thing as much as I can. All right, let's talk Clegane Bowl, okay?
Sure.
Because I will say that inner geek, like I geeked.
Yeah.
Geeked.
Big reactions out of the audience.
I
By the audience,
mean-
the 5 of us who watched the show in the studio.
Yes. When they finally come face to face, it's pretty spectacular. I don't care. Thank you. I don't care what happens after that, because some people were upset with it. I thought it was perfectly fine as a battle between the two of them. But man, I felt it. I was so negative about Clegane Bowl last week because I was like, fuck everything. Everything sucks.
Yeah.
I hate life. Get hype. It happened finally.
In a crumbling castle surrounded by fire.
Yes.
Of course. And that they fall into fire
Yes.
together. That is the payoff and the redemption. That's
I
pretty
just
interesting.
I think that, knocking off the helmet. Look, let's be honest. The mountain, one punch to Senator Clegane would have killed him, right? We've watched him.
God, he's so invincible.
We've watched him smash people's face like that
Yeah.
into like dust. So, I mean, Senator definitely got along. We had to let him live a little bit, right? But it was pretty crazy to see Gregor finally come out of his armor. Finally kind of just be this monster that he is. He kind of looked like Varys. I thought, I was like, whoa, is that Varys?
Yeah. Double Varys death.
Double Varys death. And, I loved it. And I think Sandor had his moments. He tried his best. And then he took him down with him. That seems poetic in itself. The Hound had to die. This was his mission. He took him out of this goddamn world. That monster is no longer in this world. This monster that burned him. This monster who has killed people for first season. In their joust,
Well,
we watched him kill somebody.
The monster that made the Hound a monster. Like,
Yes.
do we think it's nature or nurture? I think it's nurture that made the Hound into the Hound.
Yes.
And he probably had a chip on his shoulder that he's so salty and miserable because of his older brother putting his head to the fire. He just wanted to play with toys. That's all it was.
Yep.
And that innocence of a child turned him into a killer of many hundreds, maybe even thousands of men. And this is his redemption. It was interesting that he came back because he was revived by Ian McShane's character and was trying to become a better person and was going to live with that crew. And then wanted to revert back to just killing everyone, like some characters in this episode did, and then was shown that there's a greater good, which was the Night's King and the White Walkers. And then after that, it was like, now my last piece is this. I'm going to kill that son of a bitch and get my redemption.
Well,
Very interesting.
I look again, another great actor.
That was
And
a
I think-
non-assassination of a character. His
I
character
would say-
went the way it was supposed to, and him telling Arya, don't become me, was a very nice thing.
I really, look, this is the guy who started as the dog.
Horrible.
The dog to Joffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Baratheon. That's pretty crazy. He
dog.
killed the Miller boy
Yeah.
back in the
Poor
day
kid.
because that was his job. That's all he was. He was nothing else. It's just nuts to think that he came all this way. And I loved the parallel of his conversation with Arya, that the same conversation he had kind of similar to Sansa. Come with me.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings that up this season to Sansa. You should have come with me. And that's when she gives the bullshit line like, oh no, I really, getting raped and like being tortured was totally about my character development. And I needed that. I'm empowered from my rapings, which was a bit much for me.
Boy, I didn't hear anyone talk about that all week.
Because it's annoying.
I didn't hear anyone write think pieces or was furious and talking about how if
I'm
there
not
wasn't only two
furious.
episodes. No, I'm being serious.
I
mean,
saw
that
a
was
lot.
the hottest topic of the goddamn
Yeah.
week of that. As it should be. I get it.
Look, there was a lot of topics about how this show sucks and it jumped the shark and
Oh
the
my
writers
goodness.
suck.
Oh
I mean, I can't tell you how many D&D memes just destroying these writers, just how bad they are. Oh, Anthony found this great clip. If we can look at this up, I would really appreciate it. And maybe you can help, where it's like, oh, we should have known this show was going to go to hell. And it's like clips of the actors from the press tour just being like, alluding to it sucking in the end. And
Really?
being disappointing in the end. Can we find that video? Babe, I think you're gonna have to have, he's helping. All right, so when we get that up, we'll show you. But the Hound, trying to get Arya to come with him, just like he tried to do with Sansa, was wonderful. And yeah, I think he did have his redemption arc, and I think the dying was okay. And yeah, so I will not complain at all about any of that. I really enjoyed it.
The way things are going, though, I'm sure that someone who's had family members who got burned will probably protest that the guy who got burned ended up dying and not sitting on the Iron Throne. Just the way things are going with the political climate and TV shows.
Why can't the guy who's burned ever sit on the Iron Throne?
What are you trying to... You've never lived as a burned person.
Yeah, it's crazy. Did we find that video
Yes.
yet? No, we haven't. Okay, they're going to find it, though.
They're going to find it. You know why? Because these guys are so good in the booth and they handle their business.
Yeah.
And
we have 20
we got plenty of time.
Left, 25 minutes
Plenty
left.
of times. And these guys I love so much because when I think of them, I think of how much they valor my ragtime girl. Yeah, bitches, I got in another one because I'm that fucking good.
Oh, jeez.
Woo!
My voice can't handle this. I want to scream.
I'll do the heavy lifting. I'll do the screaming.
I'm like, get over here. Oh, we didn't mention in the Sanders scene, Qyburn dying the way he did
gone.
was wonderful.
What a great way. Brains all over the place.
It was just great. It just, in an instance, and that's why it almost made it unbelievable even more so that the Hound lived for as long as he did.
Well, he's a lot stronger than the goddamn Qyburn.
I know, but
Qyburn.
Gregor Clegane could just smash skulls and, But, again, very much like it. I want to see if I wrote any other notes about this.
His brain's mushed like a roach to the bottom of your shoe. It's terrific.
Oh, just great. So that was that. God, there's just a lot in this episode. We've been talking for 37 minutes straight now, just about the end of the episode. And where do you want to go now? Where do you want to go? Give me something that stands out to you.
Well, I think that basically, there's a lot of action. So the ending is really what it all comes down to. We could break it down the film of swords in people's abdomens, but I don't think that's important. I think the important point is this: is mercy was not shown by the Queen and Grey Worm. I love me some Grey Worm. He's flipped. All it took was the death. It's ironic. I believe the reason they cut the genitals off the Unsullied is kind of like the reason why you're not supposed to have a family at the Night's Watch.
And
your job is to protect, because feelings for family, and we're going to go to that clip here in a second, feelings for your family cloud your judgment as a warrior. This is supposed to be business and not personal, and that they made it personal.
But
the fact that Grey Worm, who I love, to me that might be a character. I won't go so far to say it's a character assassination, because he actually found love in a character in Missandei and wanted to avenge her. His plan was to leave with her and go to a goddamn island.
Yeah.
But
he was never going to retire.
To me, Grey Worm is better than this.
Weird. I actually liked the Grey Worm stuff. And, look, let's start from the beginning.
What a shitty
He never should have fell in love with Missandei in the first place. That storyline has been stupid for years.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked, once Dany started blowing up the city, Jon's horrified. All of our Westerosi people are shocked and awed and disgusted. But Grey Worm is the hired help of Dany. And now this is his war. This is his war now. And I understand. Yeah, the
rules of
character
engagement.
Arc, it made it feel like, and then once he started striking, now those guys are in the war. And they followed behind Dany, which that's pretty amazing. I thought it was amazing.
And it does show you this. This was good. There's elements of what this show was that people said have gone. Where I believe what George R. R. Martin supposedly said about his books is that there's a gray area. There is no absolute goods and bads, right? And it's all teetering the line. Yeah. So here's what it is. So don't even look at it as a heel turn and baby faces and all that. Look at this. We just perceive Dany's people and Jon's people and the Dothraki and the goddamn Unsullied as the good guys. They're still soldiers. They were about to rape a girl. We rooted for that side. Mm-hmm. Up till that moment, we were rooting for that side because they probably didn't show you that. If there was more to some of these other battles, they probably had rapings too. They're not just good people; they're soldiers.
But we've always known the Dothraki rape, and that is one of the great things about the series is that everything is in shades of gray, and that's why that's why sometimes the inconsistencies in the show are so frustrating because they just accelerate things or like define things in such a way that makes no sense for the character, which is why like Danny, and I will say some of the best acting out of Emilia Clarke this season, it's been rough, I think. But I thought did a pretty good job with the source material this episode. But killing all the people is just so hard for me to stomach with her. It just defeats the whole purpose of the character. And if in the end, the revenge and the history and the legacy affected her in that way. But I hated the John scene. Don't throw in the John scene to make it seem like scorned lover shit too. There was enough things on the table to make Danny upset at least. If you're going to justify her being the Mad Queen like that, like justify it. It's done. Don't add in John, scorn lover. They do this with the female characters, and like they do with Brienne, and just totally diminishes them. With Sansa, it makes them either weaker or not human, or they care not at all. They're crazy like Cersei, then you have moments of like, I don't want to die for the baby. There's like no gray sometimes with the women characters. They just kind of make them one or the other. The hysterical and crazy, or like just I can't do this anymore. It happens.
Which is another way of crazy and hysterical. Let's see this clip here. Let's see the poker faces over these stars.
So, this is the clip of why we should have known the season would end in a disappointing fashion.
We've just been making the best season ever. Oh, yeah. Ever, forever.
Describe the season finale of Game of Thrones in one word. How would you describe it?
Disappointing.
Right? Yes.
Okay, so is that our tease? The best season
ever.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
There are no better writers in television than Dan Weiss and David Benioff.
Disappointing.
You people are in for it.
Of course. It's going to be a terrible last season.
And are you happy with how things ended? Yeah. She didn't say yes.
Look.
You didn't say yes.
I know.
Their characters die. That they have investments in.
Your reaction when you first read it?
And you also can't give away things.
All right, understood. Come on, James, you're ruining the bit here. It's a funny thing when you edit. Editing is funny.
I believe editing is the witchcraft of the nerds. And I don't appreciate it.
You can take it one way or the other. Either they really are being a little snarky and like.
I think there's bits of it. Yeah.
I think it's a mixture of both. I don't think Emilia Clarke was just saying, Jon Snow, Kit Harington.
She supposedly walked around the streets of London after reading the script for a couple hours. After
she's
read
like,
what
I
happened.
cannot believe this is how the show's ending. I'm joking.
I have to sit on my hands of things that I know, unfortunately.
Oh, I don't even want. We should.
God, I should just.
I cannot believe
I should just
you
make
read
up
spoilers.
3 scenarios.
You should have the walk of shame. Shame.
I'll do it.
Shame.
I'll do it.
Shame. 1 episode left, and you read spoilers.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it that episode.
Mío. James, you really?
I'll do it from a location, naked.
All right.
You're a smart man.
Here's the thing. Sometimes I can't sleep. Just Google shit in my bed, man.
I read so much shit on the subreddits, but I don't read spoilers. They mark things as spoiler or not.
Yeah, I don't believe in that.
All right.
I wanted to know. I feel better about it. I like knowing where I'm going. This would be great.
Why?
If real life was like this, like if you knew your parents were going to break up at 8 because dad brought home a quote-unquote drunken floozy, like that would have made the divorce easier for you when it happens. But instead it doesn't. And then you meet some girl named Maggie who's drunk and throwing up on your mom, and mom ends up fucking going nuts, and you don't see her for 2 weeks. Oh, sorry, my bad.
James.
Whatever.
James.
You guys don't care about my pain.
I do care about your pain.
That wasn't even my story.
Oh.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Mother of Dragons.
Doing
what Mother of Dragons does. Burning women and children.
Oh, well, that's so upsetting. But I will say, the one thing that they finally did right in this episode, too, another thing I've been waiting for, and again, what they did in this episode largely negates a lot of different things that have happened this season and in prior seasons. Let's just be honest. This is definitely suspension of disbelief or whatever you want to call it. But, oh God, dragons finally dragoned. Dothraki finally Dothrakied. Unsullied finally unsullied. Like, God, just to see them like really in full action.
I will say,
I love the Dothraki with their axe just baller. Baller Dothraki.
Was there a free agent signing in the last 2 weeks of Dothraki and Unsullied? It was just like, hey, sorry we didn't get you in the draft, but now we'd like to have you come to training camp, and maybe we'll suit you up for the next game.
Well, which is fair.
They just enlisted a bunch of new people.
But the fact that they let dragons dragon shows you that you can have less reinforcements. And, well, you're just stabbing people. The other ones are just getting burned all around you. You know, the dragon helps. The dragon helps a lot. So once Dany ruined those scorpions, the writing was on the wall. I don't know. It's just crazy to me that
she wants the throne, but what is there around the throne?
Now I think
so she probably, we now pretty much realize there's going to be a throne. It's going to probably be the mess from the vision that she had in the House of the Undying, right? So, but she doesn't know that as she's burning the whole place. So where are you going to sit? So the whole thing is that you want to sit in that throne. Well, now it's surrounded by rubble and dead bodies and nothing. So what are you ruling? And then if it's like, well, then I'll just rule in Dragonstone. Well, you were already in Dragonstone. What the fuck does it matter? Then you could have just ruled there. Let Cersei be the queen of King's Landing. No one else was really serving her at that point either.
Well,
at
look,
that point,
I didn't expect.
What do you have at this point? That's the whole thing of it.
Sure.
Is you really, you know the Metallica song King Nothing? That's what you are. You're the king of nothing. You've ruined it. You have no equity with the people. She even knew it at that point. If they don't love you, fear. Well, what? And I don't want to harp on a dead horse because I think I said this many times. Why the entitlement of her because of the name to just come there and rule? People don't want to follow her. She is not celebrated in the streets as our hero. She had chances. Tyrion, I know, has made horrible decisions. But let Cersei hang herself. Let you be their hero and their savior like you were in Essos, and it didn't happen. She just is mine. She just got reduced in this last season in particular and parts of I'd say the season before to being a Willy Wonka character. I want the golden goose. That's what it was.
Well, look.
She wanted the fucking golden goose.
James, it's one of two things. I mean, look. They want, if this is to be effective storytelling, and we'll talk a little bit, we'll go into like maybe what we think predictions for next week, but you can't.
I have a feeling my predictions are going to be real spot on, everybody.
You're not giving predictions. I'm going to give some predictions, and you're not. But they're trying to make you feel
I'm like Biff and Back to the Future too.
Yeah, really. Stop. if you gave anything away to me, I will throw my phone at you. No, they need her to actually be insane. It can't work if she snaps out of it or had a motivation for this or thought this was a good idea. Because if she wanted to she had the people surrender. I thought, and I was waiting, and I wanted this moment so bad. I was like hanging on. I wanted her to come when she stops on the dragon and all the people are around her. I wanted her to speak to the people. I wanted Dany to do what Dany does and speak to those and talk about how things are going to be better now. She could have burned the Red Keep to the ground. That would have been okay.
Yeah.
She could have killed some people needlessly because that's one thing in this episode that was fucking stupid. Tyrion, another character, sadly assassinated, reduced to very little meaning or effectiveness.
He doesn't seem to be the Tyrion from the beginning of the show.
I mean, why is he sitting there going on and on and on about innocent people dying when Cersei, he says Dany is the true queen, Cersei refuses to give her her throne, and cities have been sacked throughout this whole series. Jaime Lannister killed Riverrun, killed all those lots of people in Riverrun. Winterfell was destroyed. Cersei's army has done damage all over the place. So Tyrion harping, oh my God, the children. Think of the children, please.
Well, once again, though, I will defend this, though. It is the capital, and you've killed all the people of the capital. There's a symbolic to that.
Yes.
You don't have to murder. It's the biggest city. It's the actual city of the whole land. 1 million people.
It's the Washington, D.C. of Westeros.
Yeah, but it's like D.C. and New York. It's the population compared to everywhere else. So you've just wiped off a huge population, a huge percentage of the population of this whole country that you want to run. And it's over. And now what you just got is this. So if this was the Electoral College, she got all the good states, and now she's left with like fucking West Virginia. No offense, everybody. She's got Kentucky. She's got Idaho. That's what you're gonna. That's all that's left of America right now.
Don't worry, we have 0 listeners from Idaho.
Yeah, bitches. I got an ex-girlfriend up there. Broke my heart.
Oh,
Jamie, if you listening, baby, I know you didn't want your ex-boyfriend who was 350 to come and kill me that day, but have fun in Potato Land. I guarantee this girl has like 8 children by now. Hey, can I just say this? This is a weird day for me, and I'm having fun. I'm going to do this. When you don't have any mothers on Mother's Day on Facebook, you feel like the Jewish kid on Christmas. It's like everyone's like putting pictures and I remember when she took me to Cub Scouts, blah, blah, and I'm like, who am I going to post this about? Shit, nobody. Whatever. Jewish kid on Christmas. Hey, everybody, let's spin my dreidel.
James.
It's all right.
We're all family here.
It's me reflecting how I don't want to talk about Danny being crazy anymore.
I wanted to make a point about Danny being crazy.
All right. Then I'll bring up more sad shit about my family.
Another inconsistency is that Cersei burned the sept to the ground. If you do you remember? Her own people.
And she was wrong.
Locked in a sept.
Yeah.
Burned to the ground. Somehow remained in power. And I think it goes to show that the fact that the armies dropped their weapons so quickly.
Yes.
But it was a room full of her political enemies. It wasn't like it was full of a million regular people.
Many innocent people.
No, but once again, she
died.
wasn't
The
fit
wildfire
to be...
blew up that whole part of the city. Lots of people died.
But yes.
Her own city. No, that was her own city, and she remained in power.
And was not fit, was not fit to rule. That would have been ruled against by smarter minds. So yeah.
But I do think that Danny could have done. I think that her descent into madness happens way too quickly.
Yeah.
It's completely out of character. I don't think. Again, I'm coming as a book reader. I could see somehow this happening because we have 2 full books of like all of this content that could be Danny going crazy. Okay, but I don't know. That is the hardest pill to swallow. She outmad Queen's Cersei, which cool. She blew up the city. Than Cersei.
It's a little bigger than the church, yeah.
I want to see if there's anything. So talking about next week, where we sit. Danny has blown everything up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she can be controlled. How? I can't even ask you this, but Danny will be defeated next episode. I am pretty sure of that. I firmly said earlier in this episode that Arya would be the one to defeat her. It could be Jon. That's the obvious thing to do, really, is have Jon do it. But we're at the end, and I think the last episode will probably tie all this up. I don't really. Who's gonna die? Do you know all the deaths too?
Yeah, there's a couple fuzzy ones, but yeah.
That's crazy.
There's a couple fuzzy things. One hurts hard. It's hard.
All right, stop. I don't want to hear this anymore.
It's bad.
Don't want to hear
It's emotional.
Tyrion,
it hurts.
Stop!
It's like it being 43 degrees out and raining in New York City in May 12th. It hurts your bones.
James, I can't believe you read spoilers. I really, really can't.
I would have liked spoilers growing up. Like if I knew that girl was gonna tell me to drop her off at prom at 12:01 because she was tired, and then fucked my friend Ronnie at 1:30 in the morning at a party. I would have liked that spoiler. It would have been easier.
Well,
I wouldn't have cried when we were dancing to Peter Gabriel's "In Your Eyes."
Oh my God, that would have been totally different. Listen.
Would have helped out everybody. Where was my spoilers then?
I can't talk to you about next episode too much because you know too much. So I'm just going to touch on some of the other little moments here.
Yo, I dress like an assassin now on this show.
Jamie, I know, I like it. Jamie getting smuggled in. Stupid. Tyrion letting him free. Kind of stupid. Yeah. I feel like we've been here before. Oh my God. How many times is Jamie going to be a prisoner set free? Tyrion does that. After just getting Varys killed because he's loyal to Dany, he then lets his brother
Tyrion's
go.
having a meltdown.
Tyrion has been ruined. I really think they've ruined his character. I hope he has some kind of great moment at next episode.
I'm not ruining nothing.
Freaking face.
I'm not ruining nothing.
I know.
I was going to make an analogy.
I don't care. Oh no, I do care about the analogy. If it's spoiler free,
it's spoiler free.
James.
The way Tyrion's been acting is kind of like a tennis player. Like if you've seen Royal Tenenbaums when Luke Wilson goes crazy and he takes off his shoes and just underhands the ball into the net. This is how he's playing tennis like that. Like he's just stripping on the court and he's just bloop. He's just playing badminton with the ball and not giving a shit. He's just melting down, and at any moment he's going to sit I guess you can't say Indian style anymore, probably. Double cross, applesauce, whatever that is, in the middle of the court.
We got the title of the episode.
Oh, what was it?
The Bells.
Oh. Surrender. For whom the bells toll.
The Bells.
Time marches on.
That's kind of a stupid name.
But yeah,
I'll say that Tyrion, that's what's so annoying is he's so smart.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to be so smart. And he's, in this episode, played distinctly two different sides in such a weird way. Like I said, selling Varys down the river, then letting Jaime go are two conflicting things. And Tyrion, in all of it, is for hoping again that Cersei will have mercy. I mean, again, and Cersei didn't really have a choice in this show, but I wonder
if Cersei being pregnant affected Tyrion more than Cersei.
Who, really?
He loved being an uncle. He ain't gonna have no kids. You ever see that aunt or uncle that's all they talk about? Listen. I love comedians who are like, I don't have any kids, but I'm a great uncle.
Yeah.
And I love my nieces and nephews. Yeah, because you see them twice a month, stupid.
Yeah,
and you bring them stuffed giraffes.
That's hilarious. All right. The line I hated. Here's a line. I'm just going to random go through notes. She's here to kill. I'm here to kill Cersei, says Arya.
Yeah. I kind of enjoyed it.
I hated it.
It looked like a rock video to me.
Unbelievable. Everything we've known of war, it's just weird. Oh, okay. We're just gonna stroll right past you.
You know what it was? That seems like that was ghost written by the showrunners of Cobra Kai. It's like, oh, you like our show? Let us get two lines in there. We're here to do two things: kill Cersei and kill Cersei.
Yeah, just the Hound, and no one recognizes the Hound.
Or fucking Arya. I mean, yes, of course. It's silly.
It's just stupid. Another thing that was stupid. Again, Jaime character assassination. The conversation he has with Tyrion in the tent before being free. He's insisting that Cersei might not be destroyed, which is like, what is happening? Where did Jaime go? Or where has he been? Like La La Land.
2 dragons.
Maybe not. And no, I don't know. And Tyrion's insisting.
Yo, 3 dragons, 1 dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon.
Yeah, one.
They fly and shoot fucking fire. That beats anything else.
No, it doesn't. Not scorpions, except for tonight. Last week they were miraculous miracle machines.
The strategic move. It went basically.
She flew right to them.
No, but yeah, she went to the space. Basically, it was kind of like the Virgin Air that would take you above into almost technically space, and you'd be like, "Oh, that's a star." And then she swooped down, and they've had practice. She knows how to avoid it now. Probably was running drills because, Dany is such a strategic minded person. She probably was having Drogon do 2-a-days like summer practice for football. Mm-hmm. And Drogon probably was doing some obstacle coursing.
They did fly with the sun at their backs. So that's why Euron was all squinty.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's like trying to catch a fly ball in Wrigley in July.
Exactly.
All right, listen. They just built this fleet and these dragon killing machines up, and Dany recklessly just does the same exact thing. I'm sorry. It was stupid the way that happened. It was smart how she looped around when she got to King's Landing and she came in from the back and took the wall down. That was smart. The one thing that was really bad in this episode, because that's usually what I note in my notes, the bad stuff, the timing. All of this happened in how long? Jaime was in there. I mean, and it all just happens at the same time. Timing.
They were at the siege camp in front of King's Landing. They weren't like far away.
They weren't?
They weren't.
Okay, fine.
No, but it still doesn't feel they haven't built any equity in time this season, so now you're just assuming everything is 2 shakes of a lamb's tail and that they're so far away.
It's what it always feels like. Yeah, right before Dany starts blowing shit up, there was a calm over King's Landing that was really nicely. There were some really nice shots of Dany and Cersei like back and forth. When that moment where Dany's waiting there, Cersei standing there, the city is calm, the bells have rung, and then Dany makes the decision to do what Dany does.
I think once again, you could say whatever you want.
And
about this
it's
season.
shocking. It's shocking.
There's moments they've captured that I found well. Whether you like episode 2 or not, to me they captured your last night on Earth potentially, and I really like that. It's human moments. They captured, in my opinion, the human moment of panic today.
Oh, yeah.
Of running in the streets for your life, not knowing what the enemy really is that you're facing, trying to keep your family alive. The child running back for the mother when Arya was like, basically has no time to say your mom would want you to live.
Yeah.
I owe your mom this, who saved my life to save her daughter's life. Running back. Because who could really think in that moment like that?
Yeah.
Just raw emotion. I thought it was beautiful. That was some nice stuff. Nice, subtle shit that they hit the ball out of the park with, I thought.
I agree. And, and it's upsetting, actually, because when Dany is sitting on the dragon after those bells have rung, I actually write in my notes, because I got faked out. The emotion from Dany is great. She did it. Mm-hmm. She did it. She did it. She's in King's Landing. She's taken the city. They're surrendering. Yeah. She has done it. She has avenged her father. Well, she's avenged everything. The Baratheons, Robert Baratheon, who is, this is his wife. This is the family that took it all. Tried to kill her as a baby.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. So I really felt like, her pain this episode made sense. I felt like the things that she's gone through have been ridiculous. And I really wanted her to have that moment. And then she just snaps. And then I said, and she attacks anyway. This escalated too quickly, meaning the Mad Queen storyline, as we said. Did you notice this too? Jon really paralleling Ned Stark in this episode. The parallels between what Robert's rebellion and this moment where Jon realizes what's going on and the severity of the situation. Like, he kills one of his own people.
Yeah.
Because he's going to rape somebody. It just felt very Ned Stark to me. And I think it almost makes me upset that, like, the Targaryen name is on Jon sometimes, because now this is the Targaryen. Dany is like what represents that. And I felt like tonight Jon was more Stark than ever. More Lyanna Stark, Ned Stark. Did you think?
He's moral. I mean, he still is. Once again, I think people have hit upon this with the show, is they've done a great job of forget what your name really is. Mm-hmm. Forget what it is. You are who raises you. Mm-hmm. And he's raised by our dude, man, through and through. I sometimes wonder, like, of last week's episode, if he is the last Stark, if that's a wink. Do they mean Bran? I think the last real Stark is Jon. I've always argued as a fanatic of The Godfather. I will argue this. I'm very upset that the third. I mean, everyone hates Godfather 3, and anyone who defends it usually is just a contrarian. It was supposed to be Tom Hagen versus Michael. And I said that would be beautiful because I've always argued that Tom Hagen, to me, even though he was the Irish German kid they found off the street, was the most like Vito Corleone of all of the boys, of all the family. And he was not blood at all. I always found that interesting. Like when Michael goes, anyone who said, it's easy for you to say, Tom, he's not your father. I was as much his son as any of you guys. And so Jon Snow is that. He is like the Tom Hagen.
He's always been the thing that he has always been Ned Stark's son in the way of his actions. He has been the character making questionable,
more than anyone else,
many times questionable, kind of dumb on his honor decisions, just
moral
like
to a
Ned
fault.
Moral to a fault decisions. The whole series, that's been him. Sansa's not like that. She's not honorable like her father. They say it in this episode, and Dany's totally fucking right. Sansa betrayed Jon. Sansa betrayed Jon. Varys died because Sansa betrayed Jon. All of this began because Sansa betrayed Jon. Yeah. That's the truth. Because Dany was upset that Jon is a Targaryen, but also he didn't need to tell anybody. And it could have lived and died kind of right there. Potentially. I mean, Bran still knew, but I don't think Bran's the kind of person who would try to affect the outcome there, where he's more like he puts the information, and there it is. And so what goes on with Bran next episode too? I hate you. I can't believe you read spoilers.
Yeah, Bran is taking the Lakers job. Frank Vogel is not the coach. It's going to be Bran is taking the Lakers. I could just make up stuff to feel better about it.
I know. I really...
Sansa, I heard, is going to be...
Stop.
She's going to be replacing Roseanne.
Bran wakes up in his bed and it was all a dream.
All a dream. Hey, that's a Dallas reference, everybody. Come on. Dallas
I know the reference.
The first 2.5 years of the original Dallas was so good. It was so scandalous. Booked like a good wrestling promotion. Just great. And then the swerve at the end of that series is pretty good. I don't know if people know that. There was a kid who was spun by the Ewings, and he was like a journalist, I think, and then he worked for the EPA, and he was so upset about them spending big money and oil and all that, and he ends up taking over the Ewing's business. Spoiler alert, everybody.
Spoiler alert.
Ray Krebs became the head of Ewing Owing.
I'm never going to watch Dallas.
What a wonderful, what a way to just swerve it all at the end. Our spin-off podcast, we're just going to go back and watch Dallas.
I think so. All right, quickly, because we don't have a lot of time here. I just want to get through some little last notes. You're on Swimming to Shore. I mean, that character was a caricature from beginning to end. My God, Jamie not dying. You know what's funny? When Jamie starts walking towards Cersei, I thought, oh my God, he's not really injured. Maybe Arya found him dead, took his face, is going to kill Cersei. That's what that would have been awesome.
Cool.
That would have been awesome. And it was all within their rights to have something like that happen. After Euron effectively stabs him, he just kind of sits there and waits for a while.
Well, no.
I mean, that was stupid too.
I don't know if they've left this out of the books, but I have a good source that Euron's knife is made out of vitamins. So he got like stabbed with health.
Yeah, it's like maybe. It must be.
It was like a B12 shot.
Yeah,
it needs to be in the ribs.
But he dies happy. I'm the man who killed Jaime Lannister. No, you're not, but doesn't matter, Euron. In his mind, he did. God, they dropped the ball on Euron's character. Just terrible. And then, again, and I said it last week, the baby thing was not even a thing. The fact that Tyrion... Then why do we even do this? I'm a king. He doesn't even bring up the baby. The baby, none of that played into Euron's storyline. Just kind of stupid. Sander and Arya, we said that. It's funny because he says she's going to die in the end. He does. I think we pretty much touched on as much as we're going to touch on. I don't know if I'm missing a page of notes. Oh, Arya sets off on the horse.
Yeah.
I wish it was Bran.
She's going to go avenge it.
And I think, I don't know. I thought, Arya's was weird. It was a weird kind of turn for her too, because she put the faceless man aside and became the Arya Stark of Winterfell again, it felt. And now I thought she was riding back to Winterfell potentially.
And I could tell you this. I saw nothing on Arya of the real spoilers. Of the things that are going through today, I don't know Arya's fate at all.
Good.
I don't.
Good.
Brian, maybe I missed it, and you don't have to say it to me or whatever. You can grab me off the mic later and tell me. But I'm pretty sure that I don't remember reading anything about Arya.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And not to say that there isn't more Arya in the show.
There's going to be plenty.
It seemed like a finale, right? She jumped on a white horse and rode off into the sunset.
But I don't think that's a sunset.
But the white horse...
I mean, it's a...
I read something, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was...
The horizon.
The death riding the white horse to death or something. There's some kind of...
It's from the Bible. It's
something, of course.
Behold the pale horse and the man who rode it
we love religious imagery.
It's also from Tombstone.
Oh, Tombstone.
All right.
God, Tombstone it should have been better. But that's another discussion.
I feel like for a guy who loved last week's episode, you seem a little subdued tonight, James. I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
What would be your grade before we sign off here our penultimate episode review?
I'm really, even though I went to school to be a critic, I really struggle with giving grades. Like when I have to in college evaluate our professors, I was just like, no, man, I'll just let life make a decision for you. Like I'm like that hippie teacher. It's like, yeah, how do you think you did today, honey?
It's like Arrested Development. You get like a smiley face.
It's just that it was a great episode. Full of flaws like this season, but what are we gonna do? The season they did their thing.
Yeah.
We had to go through it. It was highly engaged. I will probably, if I can't sleep tonight after watching Killing Eve, I'll probably rewatch this before I go to the gym early morning and just be a maniac. Because I'm getting fat, everybody. Look at this.
I joined the gym too.
Oh, yeah, I got a bongo drum, baby.
Me too, and it's getting warm out. I'm like, something's gotta change.
Well, it's never getting warm. This is goddamn
it's cold today.
Nuclear winter.
Okay.
So,
yeah, it was exciting through and through.
I'll give it an A-. It's a great episode. It gave us a lot of things that we wanted. Once again, I kind of knew where things are going to go. So my true grade will be when I rewatch it a year or two from now.
Well, look, where every episode, even the Night King War of Winterfell, lacked levels of excitement that we had hoped for. I mean, we spent 3 out of the 6 episodes with basically nothing. This was high speed, high energy, and say what you will, but I enjoyed it a fuck ton more. It's my favorite episode of the season, just because, I don't know, because the other ones set the bar so low. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to be back next week. Finale episode, Say It Ain't Snow. We've been here for 3 seasons now.
That's it.
The show is coming to an end.
Wonder, are we going to do the spinoff?
I don't know.
Are you going to be furious?
I don't know.
There'll be no book to scream about.
See.
Do you know what the title is of the spinoff?
No.
I heard a rumor.
Which one? There's like 17 of them.
No, the one that they're doing the pilot of this summer.
I don't know.
You didn't know?
No.
Did you guys hear it?
I don't care about the spinoff.
I heard
so
the spinoff's title was Valor My Ragtime Girl.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's it. Yeah.